So what's going on, guys? My name's Chopper and welcome back, everyone. I hope you're all having a great day, and in today's video we're getting a massive PUBG update with a lot of new content very soon. And I'd say the next coming month or so for PUBG is going to be pretty special because not only are we getting a lot of in-game content to begin with, but we're also getting a lot of out-game changes, which I'll explain in just a minute. If you guys could do me a big favor by leaving a like rating on the video, it helps me out so much. And also let me know down below in the comment section what is one thing, what piece of content, maybe a new weapon or something that you would like to have added to PUBG soon. And also one quick announcement, if you guys don't already follow me over on Twitch, that will be linked down below in the description, where I'll be streaming every single day, so make sure you go follow me over there to catch those live. So to kick things off here, a pretty big change is already underway for a lot of players. Now this isn't necessarily going to affect everybody, but it's certainly one of the biggest and also most controversial changes, if you ask me. Now over the past couple of weeks, one of the PUBG community managers, Hawkins, has been answering questions about the server changes for NA. If you guys aren't entirely familiar with what's happening with this situation, essentially they're looking for the best place to have the NA server so that everybody has an ideal ping, or at least somewhat of a more consistent ping, as they say. Now what this essentially is going to mean is that they're moving the server from where it was in the East Coast, and they're now really trying it more central so that players in the West Coast and East Coast will have basically the same amount of ping for the most part. Now I completely understand the problem that they're trying to address with this, but I don't think it entirely eliminates the issue. And currently they're only in testing, they're trying different regions, what works better for everybody, but what's probably going to end up is they're going to move the server way more central so that West Coast players have maybe a little bit better ping than they used to, but East Coast players are going to have a worse ping than they've used to been playing. I think what they'd like to have happen is like maybe have a solid 30 ping for just all players across the board, but nobody's going to have an amazing ping and no one's ping is going to be like extra terrible. Unfortunately for players like myself, what this means is the farther they move it away from the original East Coast location, the worse our ping is going to get. But this issue is still very much up in the air. Nothing's been decided, and it's not necessarily in-game content, but I figured that this was certainly important to talk about, and I wanted to let you guys know about it. Because not only is this issue important for a lot of players, but it's also going to affect a lot of the in-game things that we're about to speak about. Now to get away from that a bit and talk about things that are happening in-game, PUBG recently added a brand new DLC file, and this is pretty special and important because whenever these sort of things get added, it's laying the groundwork or making way for something big to come. And normally whenever these DLC files get added, it's when the start of a new season is about to happen. Now I feel like that really shouldn't come as a surprise to many of you guys because PUBG's been really good about updating us recently that every single month there's going to be something big they have planned. For August, we got the dynamic Erangel weather changes, we got a bunch of new features added in with destructible environment, and essentially all of the past updates this month had already been announced. Although not everything, because as I've said in previous videos, they want to give us a general roadmap of what we can get in the future, but they're not going to tell us everything and are going to leave some up to surprise. But for next month in September and presumably the next season, what can we expect? I feel like we might need to separate these two things, the month and the new season, because I don't believe that the new season is going to happen in September. If it does, it's going to be very late in, but we're still pretty much in season 4 currently. Now the question is though, does a brand new season for PUBG always have to necessarily include a new map? We're going to save the new map debate for the end of the video because that has a lot to unpack. However, we can go off of the baseline that has already been established within the season 4 event. So we got Erangel Remastered. That was the big thing, the big, like, I guess, showrunner and the highlight that was pulling everybody in. But alongside that, there were updates to not only this map, but all of the other previous maps. Weapon Mastery got a little bit of an update, as well as a lot of brand new skins. Plenty of gun balance changes and weather changes and just quality of life fixes. So all of these things are very supplemental, but is there going to be one big thing that's going to come with each season? And if that's the case, then the conversation gets way more interesting. Now the theory is currently that something coming with the brand new season or whatever update is up next for PUBG is a brand new TDM mode. This essentially has already been done by every iteration of PUBG that isn't ironically the PC version. PUBG Lite already has their own completely dedicated map to it called Bodhi, and PUBG Mobile has done this months ago. And to be honest, it works pretty well in both of these games, and I think it would work just fine on PC. However, they need to do this right. If PUBG does actually have intentions of adding a 4v4 or something, just a team deathmatch mode, then it needs to be implemented in a way where it's not going to cut up matchmaking. But I think the solution to this would be to integrate this into the training mode, because quite a lot of players still use the training mode either to warm up or maybe try out a new gun or just like test something in there. And so while this active queue is still there, what they could do is integrate it with team deathmatch, meaning that people could go in there to train or they could go around to shoot around in an actual 4v4 competitive. I just think personally that adding a brand new separate queue or like another menu to the game that's going to further even split up players is just an awful idea. So it's got to be integrated in the right way. But if they do it, it could be wildly successful. A lot of the PUBG community, from what I've been able to gather anyway, is pretty excited at the prospect prospect of having a team deathmatch mode included in PUBG. Now, whether or not PUBG is going to pull the trigger and add a TDM mode, as they've already clearly seen it be successful in something like PUBG Lite and PUBG Mobile, only time will tell. But I'm going to keep you guys updated on that, and it could certainly be one of the biggest things that we've seen for this game in months. Now, the next thing I'd like to talk about is about Erangel. So you might remember a couple of months back, they did a remastered quote-unquote loot balance to this game that was basically what they call equal opportunity looting. And what this ended up doing, there's something weird with the algorithm where things are not spawning correctly. Now, I've noticed this myself. A lot of streamers have been talking about it, and many of you guys in the comment section have also picked up on this as well, is the fact that you will see a lot of like the same item type in just random areas. Hot drops no longer really represent good loot anymore, and everything seems to be more or less just flattened out across the board. Now, I think there's some utility in that, but I don't think it's a good idea to completely make every single location on the map equal, right? School and military base, to be honest, should have some of the highest tier loot, as they are the most dangerous to play in for sure. And while this algorithm might work for balancing out some of the like smaller areas, it's not going to fix the problem of a hot drop being rewarding versus it just being a risk that you shouldn't take. I reckon something there is going to change soon, and I'll keep you guys updated if there's any changes made. Also, I'd like to talk about the potential of an Erangel night mode coming maybe soon. So recently, the dynamic weather setting came to Erangel, as you guys know, in the previous update, and what I think this is laying the groundwork for is potentially having the long-awaited night mode for specifically this map that we've requested for a while. Now, I know I'm fully aware Vikendi has a night mode, and I really enjoy it, and that's why I want it to happen on this map, because I enjoy the gameplay of Erangel, I think, more, but the atmosphere, the aesthetic, and everything that comes along with the Vikendi night mode is just absolutely incredible, and I love playing it. The only thing I dislike is something that I mentioned before, is just the excessive wind noise, but they could do away with that had they add that to Erangel Remastered. So whether or not that idea is on the table right now, I know myself and a lot of other players would really appreciate having Erangel in the night mode setting, and I'm going to keep my eyes open out for this. I'm going to keep mentioning in videos because it's just a feature that I would absolutely adore, and I think you guys would agree. But finally, guys, let's get into the meat of this video. Let's talk about the brand new map that's coming. It's absolutely indisputable at this point that a brand new PUBG map is on its way, and it's in the distant future. So the 4X leak happened honestly quite a while ago at this point. I feel like it's been at least maybe a month or two since we've known about that, but there's been no official information about a particular map that's coming out about it. But all of that combined with the fact that the new DLC file has been added, and the fact that we're nearing the end of the month and maybe the new season is coming around the corner, this is all culminating into something that's probably going to be a huge content release. Now, the theory that I've been holding for a while is that either 4X or the next big map that they are going to be developing is a Miramar remaster. I think there's room for potentially both to happen. Let's discuss the two options that could happen here, right? 4X could be the code name of the brand new Miramar map, because if you guys didn't know, another file that was found called Baltic ended up being Erangel Remastered. So these names don't necessarily match up very closely with what's represented, but at the end of the day, even if 4X doesn't end up being Miramar Remastered, maybe it's the team deathmatch map, then at least in the future, whenever they decide to make something, a move in the BR realm, a Miramar Remaster gets even more likely, in my opinion. PUBG really shouldn't make new maps at this point, and I think they're fully aware of that. And to support that theory, some of you may remember a couple of months ago, PUBG was speaking about what they plan to do with Erangel Remastered, and they talk about the loot rebalance and the graphical changes that they're going to make, and they said that they're only starting with Erangel, implying that not only are they going to continue to make changes to Erangel Remastered, but also maybe potentially remaster all of the other maps, and I think that's a great idea. Erangel Remastered was proof of concept that they can take one of their beloved maps that all of their fans love and really got them to fall in love with the game to begin with, and then go over it with a fresh coat of paint and polish it in a way where it is brand new, but you still feel familiar in a brand new place, and I think that's the feeling that they tried to encapsulate from the beginning. I'm just going to tell you guys that it's probably very likely, and I have a pretty strong hunch that a Miramar Remastered is on its way in the distant future. So that being said, I don't want to question whether or not it's going to happen. I think it's more of a question of when it's going to happen. And so the question for you guys, because nothing is set in stone with this Miramar Remastered yet, likely at the studio, and they're still taking feedback, is what do you guys specifically want to see in a Miramar Remastered? I'll tell you my opinions that they kind of differ from Erangel Remastered, where I, kind of said to keep the map pretty much the same. I think Miramar could use a almost complete restructuring of how it's built. Either find a way to integrate a lot of the dead space or just cut it out entirely in favor of other stuff, but all of the varied battles that you can get with the range and then different terrain that it presents you, Miramar is probably the most replayable map in my opinion, but it could definitely still use some work. Of course, I'd like to see a change in the circle algorithms just so you get the most varied gameplay possible, and aside from that, I really think the C4 and Riot Shield in particular would be a good addition to have in this remastered version of the map. Aside from that, I also think it's a great idea to keep including more storyline and lore in secret areas, just like they did with Erangel, sort of like adding more of another layer to that map, and then do that for Miramar as well. Help fill in the story a little bit more, and then get us closer to the PUBG single player game that's going to release soon, and I'd be a happy man. But let me know what you guys think about a Miramar Remastered down below in the comment section. What things would you like to see in particular? And PUBG will probably end up listening to these. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, guys. I really hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like, rating, subscribe if you are brand new so you don't miss any more videos like this, and of course, make sure you guys go in the link in the description and go follow me on Twitch if you want to catch me streaming live, and I'll see you guys over there for the streams. But anyways, thank you for watching again. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all on the next stream or the next video. Take it easy, and peace out.